Supriya, stage is all yours.
Hi, hello, good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guest. I am Supriya Christabel and I am Sergeant at Arms. I welcome you all to the 267th meeting of the INSPIRON Toastmasters Club. Before starting the meeting, I would like to maintain three ground rules which we follow in our Toastmasters meeting. Kindly refrain from talking about sex, religion, and politics. The mission of our Toastmasters Club is to provide a mutually supportive and positive learning environment in which every member has the opportunity to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in gather self-confidence and personal. I declare the meeting open and I heartily welcome our club president, Toastmaster Royal De Souza, for his presidential address. Over to the president.
Thank you so much, Supriya. Huge round of applause for Supriya. She has been improving consistently, and since third meeting, she's doing really well. So I would like to acknowledge the presence of our division director, Amith, Ananda, our very own member. We have special people today, our special evaluators we have today, starting with our Kavita ma'am. Welcome, ma'am. Welcome to the meeting. Anita ma'am, welcome to the meeting. We have Adila. I spotted her in one of the Sayadri meetings. She's a really good evaluator. Welcome, Adila. And we also have a guest, Kaushal. Hi, Kaushal.
Hi.
So how many of you like movies? I'm a big movie buff. So how many of you like movies? Give me a thumbs up. Okay, nice, nice. Jacob sir, which is your favorite movie? You're on mute, you're on mute.
Old movie called McKenna's Gold. I must have seen it about 10 times that now.
Oh, wonderful.
There are a lot of nice movies I always remember.
Yes. What about Anita ma'am? Which is your favorite movie? Anything that strikes in your mind?
I like the classics. I just watched The Cook of Customer. That was a very nice whole Spanish movie. I'm presently watching, I think it's One Suitable Boy, which is something of an old Indian movie.
Okay, okay. So, yeah, we have Pratiksha Ballal, the new member of INSPIRON Toastmasters. Pratiksha, welcome to the meeting.
Thanks, Royal. Hello, everyone.
Yes, would you like to introduce about yourself and just make it short?
Yes, I can do that. So my name is Pratiksha Ballal. I am from Mangalore. Like I have studied in various cities in Karnataka since my dad was a bank official. But now currently in Mangalore, I work in Pune. But since the lockdown has started, we have come back to Mangalore to like kind of work from home here. And yes, I have a son who is 5 years old now, and I work in the IT industry. It's been 7 years now. That's a short introduction from my end.
Okay. Thank you, Pratiksha, and welcome to the INSPIRON Club.
Thanks, Royal. Thank you.
Yes. So the movies always have this unique power to capture our attention and ignite our imagination. Do you want to know which is my favorite movie? One of my favorite movie. That's Kung Fu Panda. Now you might, how many of you have watched Kung Fu Panda? Give me a thumbs up. Yes, right. Some of you might be wondering, Royal, what is this? You're watching cartoons at this age, right? But I like the movie for two specific things. So those of you who have watched it, there are two main characters. There are two characters. One is a panda and the panda's father. And the panda's father, he has a secret recipe for the noodles, right? And it's one of the most famous noodles recipe. And people across the country comes to that particular place to eat the special noodles. And even this panda, he was undergoing some sort of training to get the dragon scroll. So what does a dragon scroll contain? It contains information. So once a person reads that, and he becomes one of the most powerful person in the world, right? So after hard work, a lot of hard work, he gets the dragon scroll. And at the end, when he opens it, he finds it blank. And Panda will be like, oh my God, what is this? I trained so much, worked hard to gain this, and nothing's happening. And while he was sad, his dad asks, what happened? And why are you sad? And he says, look at this scroll, it's empty, there's nothing in it. So the dad says, I think it's time for me to reveal the secret recipe. And he says that there's no secret at all. There's no secret in the recipe. It's all in the people's mind. And at this point, something strikes in Panda's mind, and he opens the scroll once again, the shiny scroll, and he could see his own reflection. And at this moment, he realizes that there is no secret, right? So fellow Toastmasters and guests, for us to be successful in life or to achieve anything, we have everything, all we need. We just have to look within. All the secrets are within us. We have all the potential, what we want to achieve in our life. So always we need to be patient with ourselves and just go for it, whatever we want to achieve. Now to achieve, perhaps in terms of knowledge, today I would like to introduce something very special for our INSPIRON Club members. Amith, would you like to share the video?
Can everyone see?
Yes. Okay, so what is this InQuest? It's a book, it's a library for INSPIRON. So basically, I'm planning for a member pool. I have around 34 books with me, mostly based on self-help, leadership, fiction, non-fiction. So any of the members of INSPIRON can borrow the book for 1 month. You can get in touch with me, or perhaps with the secretary. We'll set up a process for that. You can borrow the book for a month. You can read it, and you can give it back to us. And while you return it back, while you're giving it back to us, you have to give a 2 minutes of short insights, what you learned from this book, what you liked about this book. So I'll share the book list in the group as well. Okay, I have this small book, something called a decision book. It's about strategic thinking. $1 Trillion Coach, mostly about leadership secrets, Alchemist, a lot of other books. So I encourage all my members, take these opportunities. As I said, everything what you need to be successful is already there in front of you. In terms of books, in terms of connections, if you want, Toastmasters itself is one of the biggest platform where you can connect with a lot of people and make things happen. So having said that, and also we also have Inspirator, the podcast series. I hope you all are aware of it by now. So one of the main objectives of this podcast series is for the members to learn how to interview a person, how to moderate a particular panel discussion, and all that stuff. So it's all these things are there for you so that you can learn from it. And you never know, all these skills can be pretty handy at one point of time. So having said this, Maithili, she has some special announcement, a VPPR of INSPIRON Toastmasters. Maithili, over to you.
Thank you, Roel. This is the beginning. Almost anything can happen. This is where you find the creation of light, a fish wriggling onto land, the first word of paradise lost on an empty page. Think of an egg, the letter A, a woman ironing on a bare stage as the heavy curtain rises. This is the very beginning. Isn't it beautiful? Isn't it exciting to think about what can happen when you're standing at the beginning of something new? And yet, it can be invigorating. Whether we are off to college, exploring the world, beginning a new routine, or joining a new workforce, we begin a whole new chapter of independence, a starting point. You can imagine a highway of opportunities beckoning to a future somewhere out in the horizon that calls for an adventure. All that you become lies there. We have been fighting the pandemic for more than a year, and lot has changed. Lot has changed and has been changing since then. Even life after pandemic will never be the same. We are at the beginning of the end and yet waiting for a new beginning, be it moving into a new house or closing down a family business. Any juncture of life could be a starting point, a new beginning. As Buddha said, as long as you're breathing, it is never too late for a new beginning. With this, I proudly present the theme of our newsletter, Abhyudaya, which in Sanskrit means new beginnings. Rohit, could you just share my screen?
I'm facing some challenges in share screening.
Wait,
Okay, we can just tell them verbally and we will.
No, Maitli, can you try the share screen now?
Yes. So, yeah, thank you. So, with this, I proudly present our newsletter theme, Abhyudaya, which means beginning or commencement. I request all the members to contribute to this newsletter through an article or writing or drawing, stories, etc. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Maithili. A huge round of applause to Maithili. It's a very creative, the topic for the newsletter, the theme for the newsletter. Maithili can stop sharing the screen. Yeah, thank you. So I request all my members to contribute to the article. Might be a paintings or whatever, like stories, or if, for example, Calvin is into coin collection, so might we can share some insights on that. Okay, so for now, I would like to hand over the stage to the TO Modi, that is our very own, the dynamic leader, Toastmaster Amith Ananda.
Thank you so much, Royal. Good evening, dear Toastmasters. It's very nice to see that my own home club is doing a special session on speech marathon, and wonderful to even see the list of members who are going to speak here today. It's all a batch of new members. Today's theme I had chosen was move on. Move on. Everyone gets into a funk sometimes. Even those really successful people who might initially look like they have it all, when those feelings strike and you find yourself flat, unmotivated, and despondent about what you are trying to achieve, it can be really tough to move forward. It's tempting to blame others and become the least productive manifestations of yourself, focusing in on your anger, frustration, and anxiety. However, there are ways to tap in your hope and overcome the obstacles that make you feel more stuck. So, whatever your goal, try these tips, what I'm going to tell you today, and move forward in your life. Change your state. The first one. Change your attitude by changing your state. This is a popular personal development technique for a good reason, and it can take all sorts of different forms. For example, if you have been indoors a lot, step out of your house and spend the whole day outside. If you're feeling despondent, get your body moving by dancing and exercising. If you're hearing the critical voices of others or yourself, drown it out by putting on your most optimistic music and singing along with it. In addition, reach out to people who make you feel good and who know your true self. Sometimes just talking to them will be enough to shake you out of your funk. More points I will tell you all as we go on with our meeting. Today's meeting is going to be something different, as I told you, with 7 speakers in line. And our general meetings normally have a speech section, an evaluation section, and a table topic section. There are 3 parts. However, today we are going to have only the prepared speeches section and evaluation section. There is no general evaluation for today's meeting. However, we do have a grammarian for today, and I would request the grammarian if he has a word or a phrase for us for today. Toastmaster Jacob Koshi is our grammarian. Toastmaster Jacob Koshi, is he there, or has the video frozen?
I guess there was some power failure.
All right, so we'll wait for him, and we'll continue now. So we are going to have a speech marathon today, and in our list we have 7 members who have all come prepared today. So our first speaker for today is Ashrita Shinava. She is on a level 5, in which the purpose is to deliver a humorous speech. Before I call upon Ashrita to the screen, I would like everybody to know that we are going to have a panel of evaluators, and it is not a normal evaluation for 3 minutes. So we are going to have Toastmaster Kavita Kamath, Distinguished Toastmaster Anita Cordero, and we are also going to have
Adila.
Toastmaster Adila. Yes, Toastmaster Adila. So they are going to evaluate all the speakers, and at the end of the prepared speech section, they will take their turn in giving the feedback to all the speakers. Okay, so this is a small difference that we have in the evaluation today. So speaker number 1, Toastmaster Ashrita, are you ready?
Amith.
Yes.
Sorry for interrupting. Jacob sir is back.
Jacob sir is there?
Yeah.
Yes, Jacob sir, we were looking out for you for a new word for the day. Do you have a new word? You have to unmute yourself, sir.
No, suddenly the power went off.
All right.
I was
No
switching
problem.
off,
You can
switching on to mobile that time.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you, Amith. Thank you, Amith. Today, as a grammarian, it is my responsibility to pay close attention to all speakers, listening carefully to the language use. And I'll take note of any misuse of the English language, as well as any outstanding words, quotes, sayings, or thoughts. And as a grammarian, it is also my duty to introduce the word of the day. Just before I introduce the word of the day, just one small incident. I was doing a project in Dubai, and I just coming out of the hotel at that time. One French consultant also came. We had little harsh words outside the hotel. Anyway, then he said, anyway, take me to the site. I said, okay. So as soon as he came inside, his girlfriend or wife called him on his mobile. And till then it was so harsh words you're using. The sweet French language came out. And I was so impressed with that, the sweet French language and their sweet talk. And that left an indelible impression on me. So today, the word of the day is indelible. I'll just share the screen. The word of the day is, I hope everyone can see that.
Yes.
Yeah, indelible. Indelible marker, which that cannot be washed away or erased. But here most of the usage should be for the lasting memories. My indelible memories of my visit to Jog Force, or unforgettable, memorable. We can never forget Neeraj Chopra's indelible performance at Olympics. It is an easy word to be used. And I look forward to some indelible speeches today. And back to the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Jacob. All right, so our first speaker for today is Toastmaster Ashrita. She is on a level 5 of her path, and she has to deliver her humorous speech. Toastmaster Ashrita, take a hike. Take a hike, Toastmaster Ashrita.
Just excuse me, Amith.
Yes.
It's just my speech is it's going to be for 15 minutes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So timer, please note.
Yeah.
Timer, Larson.
Yes,
Requesting Ashrita to pin.
He is aware of it.
Yeah. Okay.
So the timing will be at green at 10, amber at 13, and final red at 15. Is that okay?
Yes, okay, Larson. Thank you. Yeah. Esteemed panelists, this whole speech of mine goes down. I have just pulled it out from my memory lane because it goes back from high school days. One fine day at the assembly, as you all know, back in high school, we did have assemblies where we all of us used to stand in the huge crowd with the huge crowd and stand for hours listening to the prayer, listening to the speeches of our class representative, of the principal. So one such day, of course, there were 10 to 20 people fainting because we had to stand for 20 and odd minutes. So one fine day, as I was hiding behind my friend, our teacher came to the floor and said, "Students, we are going to have a hike back and we need around 20 people to join me. The hike is going to be fantastic." And this was me all the while, hiding behind my friend, because I knew in all such situations, all the teachers always pick me because they know I can never say no. So this was me hiding behind my friend. But unfortunately, after calling out Asha, Supriya, Ashrita, I was like, oh my God, let ma'am not pick me up again. I cannot carry. If it's a hike, I will do all the work. I'm very sure about it because the volunteer in me is going to come out way beyond proportion. So I came out of my hiding space and I told, "Yes, ma'am, it's okay. I can surely come. Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity." And then I said, "Ashrita, you could have said no." But the word no is so difficult for me to say sometimes, especially if it's my teacher, because I love all my teachers as they have taught us something or the other at one point of time. So I went back home. I told my mom that there's going to be a hike and it's going to be just for one day. My mom was like, okay, now I have to buy washing powder. Back then we didn't have a washing machine at home. And she said, Okay, I have to tell a maid, a helper, to come back on time because she had expected loads of mud on my dress, or rather uniform, whatever we wore for the hike. She said, okay, but you have to do the planning. Don't call me in for anything. So I said, nothing to worry, mom. I can manage this time. And I carried we were supposed to carry groceries because we were supposed to go back to a place where our teacher would take us. And then we would have to pitch a tent and then cook lunch on that particular day. I was very excited after I knew that we had to go on a hike, which is on the back skirts, or rather outskirts of Mangalore, at a place called Kalamunkur. The day came, we all woke up and assembled at Kadri Park, and Madam took us to the bus stand, which we got into the bus, and right at Kalamunkur we got down, and ma'am had already prepared an agenda for us. So she was briefing us for all the situations what we might face on that particular day. Number one, Asha, Supriya, Ashrita, Nikita, all of y'all are going to be in charge of the food. I hope you'll have got rice, dal, and masalas. We all in unison said, yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am. So it was so exciting. But to tell you the truth, neither of us knew how to cook, but we all decided, why not give it a shot? There couldn't be, at the most, what could happen? There could be no salt, but it could be way beyond edible, right? So we all marched together. As ma'am briefed us about the situation, she also told us that be careful of do not go to places where there are a lot of bushes. So please keep away from bushes. So always stay in a crowd. And she also told us that we would be visiting her friend Hyacinth's farm. So it was a 20-minute walk to the farm. Well, we went up the hill, down the hill, up the hill, down the hill. And after a 20-minute walk across the paddy field and across the stream, we came to Hyacinth Auntie's beautiful farm, and we saw chicks, we saw cows, we saw pigs, we saw buffaloes, and all the farm animals in it. And we were so happy. But Hyacinth Auntie was so happy to see us. I think she thought that she could give us one of the hen's coop to clean. But we thought we were pretty rigid. We are not going to clean the coop. We are not come for that. So after chit-chatting for around 15 to 20 minutes and having refreshments, what Hyacinth Auntie has prepared for us, well, that was juice. That's it. But nevertheless, we did like it, because back in the farm, it is so serene, and I think everybody craves to be in a farm now because of all the pure oxygen what we get. But it reminded me of the song, Old MacDonald Had a Farm, E-A-E-A-O. But I always remembered that I should sing the song at the end of the hike saying, beautiful Hyacinth Auntie had a farm. But then I thought, let me just hold my excitement. So it was almost 2-3 hours before lunch, and we had to do the preparation. Hyacinth Auntie showed us the beautiful level land next to her house and told us that we could clear that place and lay stones to place the firewood and cook our lunch, that is rice, dal, and whatever sabji we were going to cook. And believe me, the vegetables were from the farm. How beautiful is that? It was beans and potato, and dal, we had bought the lentils and rice along with us. So we placed the stones, and we got the huge vessels, courtesy Hyacinth Auntie again. So we placed 3 chulas, right, one next to each other, and we divided ourselves into 3. I just wanted to say I'm going to cook rice because they're the easiest to do. But as you know, as always, ma'am put me down to dal section, and she said, Ashrita, Nikita, you're going to handle the dal, and I'm going to see everybody and help you all. Well, I had a small request. I said, ma'am, could you please add the salt? Because, I need at least 2 people to eat the dal. What if there is excess salt being added to it? She said, not to worry, Ashrita, go ahead. Well, I thought this is going to be really strange. It reminded me of the reality show what Paris Hilton had shown or participated called Simple Life back in the 90s, where she goes into the farm and tries to cook. Of course, we are no Paris Hilton, so we cannot compare us to them, but we would try to accommodate to the silly and fun and simple life of a farm. We started cooking, the vessels were laid, water was boiling, we cleaned the rice, and we put the rice according to the numbers of people who are going to eat, and then started cooking. Dal was similarly done, but I think dal was really scary to do because of the oil and the condiments we are supposed to put into the dal first before boiling the dal. And the sabji was done with beans and lentils and potatoes. So as this was cooking, I just thought, like, let us go to the farm and let us get some bananas, because the farm grew all sorts of fruits and vegetables. So I, along with the helper of Hyacinth auntie, went down to the farm, and I was amazed to see the extent of the paddy field. It went on and on and on and on. And all sorts of songs came to my mind, like Mere Desh Ki Dharti. It was so wide and so beautiful, and it was so green. I do not know whether anywhere you can find such green pastures right now in this present scenario in the urbanized society right now. I came back. Of course, I couldn't carry the huge banana fruit because it was like 100 bananas on the stalk. So the helper collected it and got back. By the time Nikita was with the huge spoon waiting for me, where did you go? Because we had to remove, or we had to lay down the rice. We had to remove all the excess water from the rice, which was a really laborious task. It was such a huge vessel to place it upside down to get uh, all the water off the vessel. But somehow 2 to 3 people gathered around it and managed to do it. So the rice was ready. We had our lunch, and then we thought we can have some games, but that didn't happen because we had to get back. So we packed up after lunch, after thanking Hyacinth auntie, and I completely forgot to sing. Hyacinth auntie had a farm. So this is one thing I regret, of course. So on the way back, 20 of us, after clearing the surface and thanking auntie so much for giving us such a lovely place to hike in that day. Well, I have edited a lot of other incidences so that we can come directly to the fun part. On the way back, ma'am was saying, I think the route is changed. We walked for 5 minutes and we realized that we are walking on the wrong track because there were only trees and there was not a single mud path. And later we realized that we took the wrong left turn because we were just beating around the bush, as they say. We halted for 2 minutes and looked at each other because that's all we could do. We do not have a mobile. We do not have GPS. We do not have a compass to see which direction we are facing. So it was a tough situation. All of us suddenly stared at ma'am because invariably we thought that she is going to come up with one beautiful idea and we're going to sail back to the Kalamunkur bus stand. But unfortunately, ma'am was thinking and thinking and thinking. It felt like 15 minutes. But then one of us said, ma'am, why don't we call for help, start screaming help? But then most of them said, well, this is a village. If you scream for help, you'll have bandicoots coming. There's not going to be a person coming to help you. But fortunately for us, there was a tempo wala who came down the road with loud music. We all jumped to the road, which looked like a road, and said, excuse me, excuse me. So he stopped for us and we begged him, please drop us to the Kalamunkur bus stand. The driver was a nice guy. He said, hop in, but only 10 of you all can come. There's no place for 20. So we requested him, sir, we're going to pay you, but please drop one group of 10 and then come back for the another round. He agreed. All of us sort of, pushed ourselves into the tempo, and it looked like a claustrophobic lift which is moving in probably 20 kilometers per hour. As we were moving down, there was loud music of 60s, probably Rajkumar Vishnuvardhan song. More than being claustrophobic and stuff, the song was very, very loud and irritating. Couple of us said, Ashrita, I think I'm going to jump down and walk along with the tempo, because this music is a big no-no. It's going to haunt me for 10 years now. It was something like, oh, Hamsini. So she was like, this is a big no-no. But we said, please close your ears and just get in, please. Let's just reach the place. Once we got to the bus stand, we all signed a relief. But we also thank the tempo driver for being so accommodative and get back to get 10 of our other friends. So this was something of an indelible experience what we had. It was, of course, we reached home safely, and then I promised my mom to wash my uniform and shoes by myself, which I didn't eventually. But nevertheless, it was a wonderful experience. We got to learn so many things. We got to learn about the wild. We also got to learn that minimalism is the best way of life. Thank you so much. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ashrita. A big round of applause for you for sharing your indelible memories of your childhood and your experience in the wild. Moving on, moving on. If your current situation was pretty triggered by negativity of others, turn your full attention to your mission in life and to your vision of what your realized dream will look like. Your life is under your control and no one else's. After all, you know what's best for you. Get in tune with the sense of trust you have in yourself. Example, by repeating your most empowering affirmations, or by writing down all the negative messages that have been bothering you and then writing down positive beliefs that counteract these limiting statements. Dear friends, so the second point I request you to do is block out negativities and take ownership. To our second speaker for today is Toastmaster Sandhya Bhatt. Toastmaster Sandhya Bhatt, are you ready?
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
Thank you so much. Toastmaster Sandhya Bhatt is on her level 1. Evaluation and feedback is the project, and the title is Faithfully Enlightening Myself with God. Toastmaster Sandhya. Toastmaster Sandhya, faithfully enlightening myself with God. Over to Toastmaster Sandhya. Timer, please note the time is 5 to 7 minutes.
Thank you, sir. Shall I start?
Yes, you may.
It is not answer enlighten us, but questions. Yes, Toastmaster. These questions not giving me enlighten. The answers is not giving me enlighten, but the questions. Toastmaster and fellow Toastmaster, I am Sandhya, stand before you in the journey of Toastmaster. Have you ever wondered how big this universe is? Have you ever thought about what purpose of ours every day is? Who is our creator? Why we are here? These questions always bothered me when I was a child. Because my father is a priest in a temple. Daily he is doing the puja, got up early in the morning, get a cold bath, doing everything for the 3 to 4 times of the prayer and all. I'm asking for him daily, Papa, why are doing all these things? This is not giving so much. You are in the problem only. Daily, you are not getting so much of money as the others will get. See your friend, he will get a more than you. Why you are doing all these things? Their activities makes me that it is like a childish activities. They are doing the puja and all. All this makes me to the atheist. I'm not ready to believe the gods and his activities. I'm not believing, but my father is convincing me every time. It is giving enough peace. Yes, I'm getting very little, but I'm very happy. I'm very satisfying my life. I will do, don't worry. Like that, he was convincing me. But in that time, the conflict conservations in my family is going on with me and my family members. It made me always, all others are telling me she is very rude girl, she is not listening, she is asking the questions like that. It is continuing in my life. These questions did not get me till I get the answer. I'm presenting that how I get the answer for these questions. When I entered the high school, these questions made me to the spirit, thinking in the spiritually, so that I'm always getting the books to search for this question. Where is the God? Where is anything about the God? Is there anything point that the who is creator that? But I'm not getting any answer for that. These questions, maybe these ideas, maybe I got the chance to meet the Mr. Gururaj Karjagi. He's a famous spokesman of Karnataka, and also he is a spiritual spokesman also. I got the chance in his conference. Here, there to 8 to 10 people are there. They all asking the questions about the spiritual and attitude, personal development, like the questions they are asking, they are discussing. Childishly, sillily, I don't know what I can say. Just I raise the hand. I ask the question directly. Sir, have you seen a God anywhere? If you possible means, I want to see the God. He just laughed. He said, I will present a story. After that, you never and ever ask, where is the God? I'm also very interested what he will say, because till now I am not getting this satisfying answer. So that I'm very interested what he will tell. He started a story of his friend, that is Mr. Mehta. He is a famous cardiologist in Gujarat, it seems. Here, he got a chance. He is presenting his story. From that, I come to know that what happened. Mr. Mehta have a hospital. He was a cardiologist, famous cardiologist. In his hospital, 8 years girls, she came for a operation. That girl need a open heart surgery, it seems. She was admitted before 1 week. Most of the doctor suggestions is, the observations is that the girl will not live for more days. She did not have more days. But there is no option at all, so that the parents also agreed to do the operations. Daily, this doctor came for her exam. The girl was asking me the one question, it seems. Sir, if you open my heart, please please tell me, how is the God in my heart? The doctor was very, he asked, why you are asking these questions to me? She said, it seems, my father, my mother, my grandfather, grandmother always telling me, do the prayer, the God is present in your heart. I don't know that how the God is in my heart. If you are able to see the heart, because you have opened my heart, please tell me how is the God, and tell me what is his color and all. The doctor was an atheist. He is not believing all these things. He just smiled and went off. In the time of operation table, the girl came, the operation was started. the blockage was removed. At the same time that the pulse rate was getting down, means that operation was not successful. He just hold the heart for 1 to 2 seconds. The words of the girl was struck his mind. He was just recall the words that how is the God in my heart. In the same time, the heart is started to beat, it seems. That made the doctor to full of his tears. He never ever enjoyed what is the happiness, it seems. He finished off his operation and he went off without talking with anyone. A daily routine, it seems. After the operation, the doctor will come and give the instruction what to do and what to not to do. But today, he does not give any instructions to anyone. He just moved off from the hospital. After 2 to 3 days after, he came and meet the girl again. The girl was eagerly waiting for this doctor to get the information and to know what is the God and how is the God in her heart. She asked the same thing before what he heard. It is an indelible moment for the doctor also, even for me also, that incident. He said, it seems, the doctor said, it seems, see child, we can't see the God, but we can feel the God. Yes, friends, that day I come to know, I can't see the creator. I can't see the why we are here. I can feel the supporter. I can feel the power of this universe, how it is going on, how it is moving on, why we are here, because there is a power is supporting us. This feeling is make us to live very happily, lead a peaceful life, doing the good deeds, lead a happy and successful life. This feeling made me to the indelible, the changes. It makes me to the atheist personality to the theist personality. Today onwards, even though I have an Orthodox family, I did not remember anything about what is going on and all. Today, I surely believe in my works, the God's path and all. Thank you, one and all. Over to the Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Sandhya. Indeed, a very nice experience that you have shared. Indeed, it is definitely your indelible memory.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Chances are you are looking at your future life through filters of fear and failures from your past. And this is what is holding you back from truly moving forward. You need to realize that your past is exactly that, the past. This doesn't mean that you should try and make yourself forget about your past, because firstly, it is pretty much impossible, and secondly, the past has still taught you some valuable lessons. What you need to do is to let go of the negative emotions and limiting beliefs so that they lose power over your future. Of course, sometimes easier said than done. So, dear friends, the third one is let go of the past. Our third speaker is Toastmaster Maithili. Toastmaster Maithili is on her level 1 project 2 evaluation feedback, and it is a repeat speech. Toastmaster Maithili, I hope you're ready. Timer, please note, time is 5 to 7 minutes. Toastmaster Maithili, my three friends, Toastmaster Maithili Ranjan.
Thank you, dear Modi. Do you remember during your childhood where life was simple with no work, no worries, and no anxieties? Do you remember going to school carrying a tiny tiffin box, waiting for the game spirit so that you could meet your friends, and giving chocolates on your birthdays. Life was so good back then. Our motto of life would be eat, sleep, play, repeat. I remember going to my grandfather's house and him taking me to the recreation center where he would play badminton with his colleagues. I was a little girl with a bob cut hair, with tiny pink shoes on, and melting dairy milk chocolate in my hands. I was fascinated by the way they played, and when I got back home, I stubbornly told my parents, I want to play what my grandfather was playing. My mother adds by saying, just 2 months back, I put you for drawing classes and you quit because you said your sir looked like a Frankenstein monster. I was persistent nonetheless. The next thing I know, I was in Mangala Stadium with my mom filling out the forms. As a kid, I was very hyperactive, jumping around and unable to sit in one place. While I was playing badminton, under the supervision of my coach and not my parents, he introduced me to my first friend, Patience. My friend Patience helped me reach state level. Everything was fine until 10th standard, but then science happened. I hit a pause on my exercise routine and didn't know when I would hit play again. In the process, I started gaining weight and losing self-confidence. And it led to an internal conflict of what people would think of me and thus inhibiting me to express myself. I was disappointed with what was happening to my life, and I didn't want to continue in the same manner. And that's when I decided to take charge of my life. First, I thought of joining the gym and enrolled into one. But within 2 months of joining, I did not like the setup. And that's when I decided to convert the 4 walls of my room into a transformational center and take the next step towards achieving my goal. It wasn't easy at all to follow a long lost routine. That's when I met my second elusive friend, consistency. Because of these 2 friends, they helped me enjoy the process and accomplish my goals faster. And not being able to eat junk food and saying no to fast food was hard. That's when I was introduced to my third friend, discipline. So I had to decide to put aside what I like to do than what I need to do. I started recognizing my temptations and desires that would seduce me to an easier path. That's when my friend discipline helped me. With these 3 friends helping me, I started losing weight and gaining confidence, because of which here I am delivering my speech. Little did I know, my interest in one thing would have a domino effect on me later. When I was doing this, I didn't know where all of this would lead me. Sometimes, whatever you're doing right now may not make sense, just like it did for me years ago. Once you continue doing it for a particular period, and when you look back, it will start making sense. Rightly, as Steve Jobs mentioned, you cannot connect the dots by looking forwards, but you can connect them by looking backwards. If you're someone who is going through a difficult situation and a difficult time, I would like to introduce my 3 friends to you: patience, consistency, and discipline, and try to make the best use of them. Always remember, Tough situations don't last, but tough people do. And I believe you're the tough one. Thank you.
Thank you so much. A round of applause to Toastmaster Maithili. Indeed, patience, consistency, and discipline is one of the most important sorted out concept. Everyone as a leader, everyone as a student should be imbibing in themselves. If you are stuck in a funk because you have a particular task you don't want to tackle and you're paralyzed by the thought, find something small that you can do in order to secure a win. Small steps take you a long journey. Break your biggest unpleasant task down into lots of little subtasks and do at least one of them today. Even this act can help you feel like you have moved forward and can make dreaded or intimidating tasks seem manageable. And if one of the broken down tasks look too big, break them as well.
Sudhakar.
So my fourth point for you is start something very small. All right. Our fourth speaker for today is Toastmaster Anita Rao. Toastmaster Anita Rao, are you ready?
Yes, Amith.
Yes. Toastmaster Anita Rao, she is in for a surprise for us. And then she, in fact, has not given me the title what she is. And it is a surprise for all of us. And over to you, Toastmaster Anita, to whatever you're going to speak. To whatever you're going to speak, Toastmaster Anita.
Okay, thank you. Zain. Can you guess what it is?
Mosquito.
Mosquito.
Exactly, that is my topic. Okay, good evening, Toastmasters. During Shavasana meditation, my yoga teacher is intensely instructs as scan your body. Concentrate on each part of the body. But my total concentration will be on the mosquito, which is having blood me. Today it's the time to throw out all my frustration before you. Just think, what would happen if all the mosquitoes disappeared from the world? Sounds good, right? Yes, for this, first we have to figure out exactly how many mosquitoes are there in the world. Is it impossible? It is more than 10,000 trillions? Maybe. Okay, but out of thousands of mosquito species, only 6 of them are precarious, they bite us and spread disease. Okay. Now, whether mosquito contributes to the food chain? Not much, but a bat eats 600 mosquitoes in an hour. What if we could have many bats? They could effectively wipe out all the mosquitoes, right? But how would we get rid of these billions of bats in the sky? Yes, it's not a good idea. Then, what if we genetically modify the mosquito that don't bite? It may take several decades also. Not a good idea. But what if we stop mosquitoes from having babies? Crazy, right? In Singapore, they have created a new type of mosquito. They have a mosquito nursing room also. They fill all those mosquitoes in a mosquito gun and they blast that gun over different places. These good mosquitoes find out the bad mosquitoes, love them, and stop them having their babies. Good, right? But in India, we may take little time to adopt this technology. Until then,
we have to continue using our own crazy experiments. Okay. Of course, we take good care of our locality, no stagnant water outside. But these mosquitoes can fly up to 14 miles for their blood meal. In our house also, we have closed all the windows. Everything is net we have put. But those mosquitoes are waiting outside to get doors open. Once the door opens, they enter with their family, sometimes with neighbors, sometimes with the whole community, and perform indelibly. We four of us have different kinds of allergies, either with the skin or with the lungs. So we have stopped using all outsourced mosquito repellents, and we are trying all natural remedies. My younger one, he enjoys to put fire and he fills the house with the different flavored smokes. Okay, once the smoke escapes, again these mosquitoes comes and dance in six legs. Balle, balle. Okay, then like other homes, we too have that magical weapon called mosquito bats. We feel like a warrior when that chip, 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 chip sound comes, and we kill that mosquitoes in a different warrior postures also. We enjoy that. But exactly after 6 months and 2 days. But it is never wasted in my house. My elder son, he used this bat and he checked his counting capacity by counting the number of holes during his online class. But the younger one, he cross-checked during his online class and had a small debate also. But at last, we realized that these two are the best weapons. No cost, no expiry date, but it works anywhere, anytime also. When it sounds pachak and splashes out something, we feel it's the victory. And we celebrate the victory when it sits on loved one's face, right? Have a celebration, dear Toastmasters. Thank you.
Wonderful, Toastmaster Anita. Being stuck in your troubles usually involves inaction. So, in one of the best things you can do for yourself is to draw up a schedule and then stick to it religiously. Even if you don't currently have a job, or if you're a self-employed person, figure out your hours of operation and commit to working your way through your task list during these times. Even just beginning with an hour a week, 3 nights a week is a great start. You can then gradually increase the amount of time you devote to working on your goals. So, the fifth point that I have for you all is stick to a schedule. Our fifth speaker today is Toastmaster Royal. Toastmaster Royal is on his level 3, and the objective is to tell a story and engage the audience. Toastmaster Royal, are you ready?
Am I audible, Amith?
Yes, you're audible. All right. Toastmaster Royal, fan man, fan woman, fan man, fan woman, Toastmaster Royal.
How many of you miss bedtime stories? Give me a thumbs up. Well, I miss them a lot too. During my childhood, during the bedtime, my mother used to say something very special every night. She used to look into my eyes and say, Royal, go to the kitchen and check whether the stove has turned off. I felt like a firefighter every night extinguishing the flame. Extinguishing the flame on the stove is fine. But what have you done when you saw the flames of passion within others, covered with disappointments, failure, and self-doubt? TMOD and my fellow firefighters. 3 years ago, while I was in Pune, there was a rumor making its round about a haunted camping site in between a dense, secluded forest on the banks of Pavna Lake. It made my two friends and me curious. So what did we do? We decided for a night camping to challenge the forest spirits. But little did we know, sometimes we should be careful for what we wish for. And what happened that night changed my perspective forever. We reached there around 9 p.m. The caretaker of this place, he looked like Gandhi with a very poor eyesight. A green tent was set up facing the beautiful lake. We could see the wolf moon hiding behind the hills on the other side of the lake. The only sounds we could hear was the hooting of the owl, the pounding of the waterfall, and the creepy howling of the caretaker's German shepherd, as if he was waiting to feed off human souls. The caretaker places the logs like a pyramid. He opens a red can, and the addictive scent of petrol seduced us. He takes up the matchstick, and boom, a huge campfire just lit our mood. At 11 p.m., the chill breezer, cool breeze, and scary ghost stories were giving us chills, and barbecue and campfire were compensating for it. But much to our disappointment, we didn't notice anything unusual that night. But all I was scared about was how to extinguish the campfire before going to sleep. We slept in our green tents when the wolf moon was right above us and everything seemed normal. Now around 3:30 a.m., we were woken up by an unusual sound. The sound of a bell, or in Hindi we call it as gungru. Initially it was faint, but after a few seconds, it was getting louder and louder. And something was coming closer and closer towards us. I could see a shadow pass by, and the moment we utter the word, the sound would just fade away. And a few minutes later, it would come back. Fear encapsulated us like darkness encapsulating the light. Something was not right over here. I immediately dialed the caretaker. The number was not reachable. One of my friends started reciting the Hanuman Chalisa hiding in a blanket. This time, I was petrified. My other friend told me, Royal, we can't let fear take over us. Let's go outside. I asked him, dude, what are you high on? We are stuck in a camp in middle of a dense forest. It's 3:30 a.m. in the morning and something scary is waiting for us outside. And you're saying, let's go out? He tried all his persuasive skills and he managed to convince me, and we decided to sneak out. And what we saw that night is still embedded in my memories like a permanent tattoo etched from lightning. As we moved out, what we saw rocked us and shocked us. We saw a scary red eyes, a long tail, and fur around its body. We realized we were flim-flammed by the German shepherd who had small bells attached to his collar neck. He was sneaking, the dog was sneaking to eat the leftovers next to our tent. And when we used to speak or make some noises in the tent, he would get scared and he would just run away or stop moving. Since the caretaker had a poor eyesight at night, he tied these small bells just to identify where the dog was. we just lost our mind. It was a very funny situation. And my friend, out of all the frustration, he opened a beer, he moved towards the dead campfire and tried to reignite it. But all I could see was the ashes and remnants of logs. But he saw something beyond that. He started fanning, and underneath those ashes, some embers reignited again like a rising phoenix. Just like how the embers were covered with ashes, my courage was covered with fear. I realized he also fanned the flames of courage in me by using simple words. Have you seen something special in someone which is buried with disappointments, rejections, and self-doubt? What did you do about it? People cannot shine outside when there is no fire inside. The raging fire of the sun is trapped within the fading embers in each and every one of us. Just like how Toastmasters has fanned the flame of speaker in me, I decided when I see something special in someone, I fan the flame with kind words. Hey, I like your speech. Hey, you have magic in your voice. Hey, you look pretty. When we fan it with simple words, we can see the fire right up into their eyes. It doesn't take anything special to find faults in someone, but it takes something really special to find the buried embers and be the fan man or the fan woman by fanning them with simple words. Do you want to be a fan man or fan woman? Let's reignite everyone with simple words. Over to the tier mode.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Royal. A big round of applause for the fan man and the fan woman. If you're unable to be grateful for what you have already have and all that there is to cherish in your life, the universe is not going to give you more. You have probably already considered the idea of keeping a gratitude journal or some kind of thing, but there's also other great ways to live in gratitude. For example, you can try cultivating a daily habit of thanking someone you care about and practicing mindful meditation that encourage you to let feelings of love, compassion, and acceptance wash over you. So, dear friends, the sixth one that I want you all to have is live in gratitude. So, our sixth speaker today is Jeevan De Souza, and he is on his level 2. Jeevan De Souza, are you ready?
Yes, I am. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible. Thank you so much. Jeevan De Souza, your project is on your mentorship and its experience in your level 2. Over to you, Jeevan De Souza.
We hear a lot about mentoring, coaching, and guiding. Particularly in Toastmasters, we hear this out a lot. Each time when I hear this, I always have a doubt about who can be a mentor. Can mentor be only a certified consultant or experienced person, or can he be my close friend? Good evening, Toastmasters and my dear friends. I welcome to all of you on my speech on mentorship. It was busy noon and I was in my office at Bangalore. I was involved in the task of processing the payroll for the entire organization. Suddenly, I got a call from my friend and he was speaking about attending a training program on neuro-linguistic programming, abbreviated as NLP. I did not know what was NLP. But since he was my close friend, how can I say no to him? I said yes to him. This program requires 10 days of stay. And what I liked about this training program was not the training itself, but the brainstorming session done by me, my friend after the training classes. Those were the indelible memories that I had. We opted to stay in a single sharing room. The classes were scheduled from morning 9 a.m. to evening 6 p.m. Each day after the training classes, we spent about an hour discussing, brainstorming, and noting down all the techniques of NLP. In all these private discussion sessions, we both acted as mentor and protege to each other. Sometimes I was mentor to him, sometimes he was mentor to me. We see different mentors based on different situations in life. Some would like to maintain a guru and a protege relationship. Some would like to maintain a friendly relationship, as in my above case. As I was researching on this topic, I found a simple definition in Google, which states that mentoring is a relationship between two persons with the goal of achieving personal and professional development. Mentor usually is an experienced person who shares his experience, knowledge, and advice to the less experienced person called mentee. While I was researching on this topic further, I found 4 different types of mentors: the master of craft, the champion of your cause, the anchor, and the reverse mentor. The master of craft. The master of craft is someone who has gathered a lot of expertise in the field through his research. He is someone who has a lot of wisdom through his extensive research. The champion of cause. The champion of cause is someone who acts as an advocate. Though this person is not expert in the field, he has a lot of connectors who can introduce to others who are expert in the field. The anchor. The anchor is your close friend or your family members. Sometimes we are all going to hit the speed bumps and undergo uncertainties in life. And during that time, we require someone who can give us a psychological lift and help us to see the crack through the light, help us to see the light through the cracks during our challenging times. Because this mentor, keeping your overall best interest in mind, they can be very insightful when it comes to achieving work-life balance, setting up your priorities, and not losing your sight of your values. In the above story, my friend was acting as an anchor to me. We even connect now once in 3 months, discussing on and refreshing the techniques of NLP. The reverse mentor. When we say the word mentor, it always conjures up the image of an older person or an experienced person. The reverse mentor is your mentee who gives you feedback on your leadership style and who gives you opportunity to engage in your motives. This keeps your perspective fresh and relevant. In Toastmasters, we have been assigned different types of mentors and proteges. We will reap the benefits only when we build a good relationship with our mentors and proteges. Also bear in mind that single type doesn't fit in all the circumstances. Sometimes we'll have to play a role of master of craft, the champion of your cause, the anchor, and the reverse mentor. So my dear friends, let's get best use of this mentorship, and let's have that indelible memories for ourselves. Over to dear Modi.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Jeevan De Souza. Indeed, mentoring is everybody's desire to have somebody as a mentor in their life and have somebody whom we can look up to make all the needed corrections and move on. When you assist others in moving out of their own funds, you make a genuine connection that deeply gratify and can spark your own passion as well. Of course, you don't want to neglect your own needs and sacrifice all of your time and energy for others. But there's a balance to be found here. When you provide support and inspiration for people, you will get more support and inspiration from the universe in return. If, in contrast, you focus on jealousy or refuse to share any of your own resources, you'll get fewer resources from the universe and are more likely to stay in the funk for longer. It is crucial to remember that everyone gets stuck in the situation from time to time and that it's not always easy to shake it off. Don't feel guilty for having this very human experience. If you stick to your vision of life you want to have and stick to your mission to succeed, you'll find yourself moving forward into happiness and excitement. Dear friends, so my seventh point was basically to help others move forward. Our last and final speaker for today is Toastmaster Suman. Toastmaster Suman is on her level 1. And Toastmaster Suman, you're ready? You're muted.
Yes, I'm ready.
Thank you so much. Toastmaster Suman, sleep like a child. Sleep like a child, Toastmaster Suman.
Thank you, Toastmaster Amith. A good laugh and a quality sleep are the best cures in the doctor's book. So everyone here would love to have a good sleep, isn't it? Good evening, Toastmasters and all the guests. I'm going to speak about the most time-consuming activity in our lives, that is sleeping. First of all, I'd like to explain briefly about how sleep works, the effects of not sleeping at all, and finally give some advice that may help to improve the quality of our sleep. So there is nothing better than a good night's rest. You wake up feeling refreshed and ready for the day ahead. Your thoughts and intentions are clear, and you might even wake up smiling. Too often, we overwork ourselves to the point where we are unable to sleep. With the demanding work schedules and an endless supply of technology constantly stimulating us, it's increasingly important that we get a good night's rest every night to remain in good health. Sleeping well is beneficial to ensure a better day. But what happens if we become sleep deprived? Sleep deprivation is serious and can cause a series of medical problems such as blood sugar levels, weight gain, and sometimes even death. It is important to sleep for an adequate amount of time each night to help prevent these issues. So sleep consists of several cycles. After each cycle, there is a transition stage during which we wake up momentarily. Within each cycle of about 1.5 hours, you go through the following 3 phases, that is light sleep, deep sleep, and REM, that is the rapid eye movements. Now I would like to share a childhood incident. Okay, so I was around 9 to 10 years old.
notations. A very happy and a carefree child. It was a parish feast in my hometown. So in Konkani, we call it Santmari, which we celebrated along with family members. So we used to have a lot of guests at home, and a lot of cousins, and I was playing around in the playhouse with my cousins, and we made the playhouse by using gunny bags. So in the evening, my parents realized that I was not around, so they started searching for me everywhere along with the other guests. So they called up my dad's shop to check if I've come there. My grandmother searched in the Hareka farm, and it was a panic situation. One of my cousins told my parents that we go and search in the playhouse, and when they found me, I was fast asleep there. Imagine the kind of sleep that I had as a child. And those were the indelible memories in my life, which is still fresh. So as a child, people used to call me Sleeping Beauty, as I loved sleeping. And my mom used to always find it difficult to wake me up in the morning. And she used to find all ways to wake me up. But now, as an adult, due to work stress and family responsibilities, my sleep has become less, and after the pandemic, due to work from home, my quality of sleep has gone bad. So nowadays, I keep checking my sleep using a fitness watch, where it will show how much deep, light, and REM sleep I had. Also, I remember as a child going to my granny's place. It used to be a village, and then there used to be a schedule. Okay, there was no electricity, and full of areca plantations, and a very lovely, environment. So all family members used to have supper by 7 p.m., say prayers, and then go to bed by 8 to 8:30 p.m. And by 5:30 a.m., we used to automatically, get up and feeling fresh. So my grandparents used to sleep well and were very healthy. So I feel now that we have to go back to our roots and live how our ancestors lived, to have a healthy and disease-free life. So these days, what I do is I try to follow some tips to improve my sleeping habits, which I would like to share with you all. So what I do is I go to bed and wake up at the same time. Say, for example, I go to bed at 11 o'clock because when I'm working, I have to attend some late night calls. So by 11 o'clock, I'm ensure that I go to bed. And for children, I have a set bedtime routine. So 9 o'clock, now it is due to online schooling and being at home, it has I'm finding it difficult to have a set bedtime routine, but when they have school, by 9 o'clock, they have to be bed. And I try to keep the same schedule on weeknights and weekends. So even on the weekends, when we have off on Saturdays, Sundays, I ensure that I go to bed by 11. So I try to use the TV or computer screen. Okay, computer screen. Sometimes I'm working. I'm not able to avoid. But on weekends, yes. I try to avoid the phone or computer screen 1 hour before bedtime, because when you are using the computer screen or using the phone, and then immediately going off to sleep, the light may signal the brain that it is time to be awake. So we will not fall asleep soon. So I avoid heavy meals. I have my meals before 6 or 7 o'clock, and caffeine sometimes I have. Around 4 or 5. That I cannot avoid within a couple of hours of bedtime. So I spend some time every day outside. I go for a walk and try to be physically active. And when I go to sleep, I ensure that it is quite dark, and I use some breathing techniques before I go to bed. So in conclusion, Sleep deprivation can cause a drastic toll on the human body. However, if you are aware of the effects of deprivation and the symptoms of tiredness, we can prepare our bodies for proper rest. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Suman. Indeed, sleep is one of the important part of it's a daily routine. Yes, we understand, but what do? We have got so many TV serials and cricket matches and all the way we all sit and watch till 12 or 1 o'clock in the night, and there are late owls also. So sleep is important. Moving on, that brings the end of our prepared speeches. And Larson, our timer for today. Can we have the time taken by all the speakers?
Time taken by the first speaker, Toastmaster Ashrita, is 14 minutes and 37 seconds. Speaker 2, Toastmaster Sandhya, has taken 7 minutes and 55 seconds. Toastmaster Maithili, third speaker, has taken 5 minutes and 23 seconds. Fourth speaker, Toastmaster Anita, has taken 5 minutes and 14 seconds. Fifth speaker, Toastmaster Royal, has taken 5 minutes and 34 seconds. Sixth speaker, Toastmaster Jeevan has taken 6 minutes and 17 seconds. And last speaker, Toastmaster Suman, has taken 7 minutes and 22 seconds. Over to Toastmaster of the day.
All right. Royal, is the voting link going to be shared?
Can you create it, Amith?
Okay, I'll do that. Meanwhile, we'll go with the evaluation. So I will share the link. All right. Okay, moving on to the next part, what we have is the evaluation. So I call upon the evaluators, Toastmaster Anita Cordero, Toastmaster Kavita Kama.
Anita, and Adila.
Yeah, okay, all right. All three of them are there. So who would like to go first? Royal or Larson, if you can please pin them on the screen. Meanwhile, I will.
Amit just wanted to know, are we giving each speaker the evaluations and then moving on, like all three evaluators evaluate one speaker, then we move on to speaker number 2, that way?
You can do it that way because you will be, if you're going to, for example, if you're going to speak on the content of all the speakers, then you are going to say about the content. Another is on the body language. Another evaluator is going to speak only on body language. Another one maybe another gestures. So you can divide among yourself and
no, what I want to know is, do we go speaker wise or do we finish all speakers at a stretch?
All speakers at a stretch. First Kavita ma'am, then Anita ma'am, and last Adila.
So do I go first, Roy?
Yes, ma'am.
Timer is Larson, is it?
Yeah, timer is Larson. Larson, the time given is 7, 8, and 9, right?
7, 8, and 9.
All right.
Okay.
Before I start, pardon me if I get wrong with the names or the sequence, but I have done justice by noting down the names. Let me start my evaluation. Good evening, Toastmasters. Human voice is the most powerful, perfect instrument for all of us. And voice makes a lot of difference. So through the quality of your voice, you're actually able to establish the tone and relate to the audience. If your voice is full, clear, mellow, enthusiastic, it makes a lot of difference. So here we go with today's evaluation on the vocal variety. As I, Kavita Kamath, is going to evaluate each speaker on the vocal variety, which is a major factor in a speaker's, in a speaker. So let me go with the first speaker, Toastmaster Ashita. Toastmaster Ashita, you were very good with your voice modulation. There was a clarity and a very good tone. Wherever you needed ups and downs, when you said up the hill and down the hill, that made the difference. As a good speaker, each one of us should bring up that vocal variety in you, as you can connect to the audience by explaining them the storyline which was there in that story of the travel. When you said Auntie, I don't remember the name, Auntie dash dash, and you said you got only the juice, where you had a pause. Pause also makes a lot of difference. And when you give that pause, you low down your voice. That is where it made a lot of effect. When you said a huge crowd, you dragged your voice to an extent, and I truly appreciate you on that. I also like the mellifluous voice in you when you started singing the Old MacDonald. It also reminded me of my childhood. And also a few Hindi songs. There was a lot of humor in your voice, and the speech was a humorous speech, and you also sprinkled the humor through your voice. So good job, Ashita, on that. I close with Ashita's evaluation. Go to the next speaker, and that is Toastmaster Sandhya. Faith is the light that guides. Toastmaster Sandhya, I'm sure you are a beginner to the INSPIRON Club, but your speech had that, clarity, and I would always say that, as a beginner, that effect in your voice was very good. There is more to learn with noise modulation, but you had beautiful pauses, and you were very good with the pauses when you explained us about your father and the story behind the temple and God. You said, who is our creator? When you questioned, you had a question in your voice, which is very, very important in voice modulation. Kudos to you on that, and good luck on your speeches which are going to come ahead. The next one in line was Toastmaster Maithili. Your concept of my three friends, which were the patience, consistency. It was a beautiful way of explaining your speech. And I like the no work, no worries, and no anxiety. The way the voice you modulated for that particular phrase. You related your friends to learning your how to lose your weight. That's how you said. And I think your three pillars of success for success with nutrition are those. You were very good, very confident in your voice, and your pitch was pretty good too. Coming to Toastmaster Anita Rao, I like that sound which you did, and that smash of that mosquito. Initially, that sound which you made when you started your speech. Every speech can grab the audience attention only when you start it well. And you had that with you, Toastmaster Anita. Great job. And you have that dramatic way of expressing through your voice in the delivery of a speech. Kudos to you on that, Toastmaster Anita. The next in line is Toastmaster Royal, the president of INSPIRON. Weaving a story, who else can do it better than Toastmaster Royal? Fan man and fan women. A good controlled voice is an asset in every contact. I would say you said that I need fan with simple words. I have those simple words for you. You were natural, reflecting, and a true personality, and your voice had that sincerity which could relate us to the story. You had a very proper volume and a very beautiful way, an articulated way of rendering your speech. I would say your voice was like a rainbow, a rain cloud as well. The essence of your speaking is the sound in your voice quality. It expresses the emotion, and you did it perfectly, Toastmaster Royal. The sixth one online was Toastmaster Jeevan. Your speech on mentorship was very good, but I think you could work a little more on your voice modulation. But you have a natural way of speaking which can connect to the audience well. Every speech needs good volume, pitch, pace, pause, and each speaker can do it to the perfect only if they utilize their voice modulation well. Before I close, I have the last speaker to go, and that is Toastmaster Suman. Sleep like a child. Your topic itself is very related to the current scenario during this pandemic. Each one of us are not sleeping well, but I think you needed to work a little more on your pauses, because pauses are periods of silence. Words and phrases too. Their function is to separate ideas and hold attention. So I thought instead of reading your speech, you could deliver it better so that we could get to know the voice modulation in your speech. But I would say your voice was very clear and we could connect to you well because of that particular aspect. So Toastmasters, I would end my evaluation by saying that voice modulation plays a vital role in each speaker's life. And before I close this particular evaluation, I would say that each one of you were indelible speakers, and this is going to be down the memory lane for me. Cheers to INSPIRON. Over to you, TMOD.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Kavita. The voting link has been shared to all, and requesting the balance members to vote for the best speaker. Can we have Anita Cordero, or is it Adila who's going to go next?
Can
Anita,
I finish?
Yeah, all right.
I'm having some network issues.
All right, ma'am, you can go
logged in
next.
from the mobile phone. Yeah.
All right, ma'am.
Okay, so thank you very much. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you very much for this opportunity to give evaluation marathon. I think I don't know what else to say, but it was a pleasure to be here and listen to so many good speakers all at one go. I did not know INSPIRON has such good speakers over here, and I would like to give my tiny 2-bit of my evaluation for the content of the speech. We had Toastmaster Ashrita. I think she's a natural speaker, very well narrated the entire incident of her school days and the hike that she had. There was a total imagery, you know, with everything, with the colors, with the action, with the travel, and the green, what you call the green countryside, and the cooking and everything was very beautifully narrated. Just two constructive things for her to follow. I would say just economize on the words instead of repeating words here and there. There are many things that can be economized into one single sentence. To give an example, the teacher or the madam told them not to get into the bushes and to keep away from the bushes, she said, but could have been summarized in one thing when she said the teacher gave us safety instructions. So that would have, summarized the entire thing. And to keep, it was a lengthy speech, and of course, it was a narration. So there is a possibility of getting a little off the track here and there. And that is what I found here, that although the teacher had the madam had put her in charge of dal, she ended up cooking rice. So I do not know how that happened, but perhaps there was a little, and of course, it was a long time ago story, but stories always capture the audience's attention, and the entire story was well built. Another thing that I would like Ashrita to work on is the conclusion. Since the story had so much of narration, the conclusion I found was a little abrupt and not enough to keep up with the story. We had a second speaker, Toastmaster Sandhya, who used a very, what shall we say, very good technique of getting the audience's attention, that is by asking questions. I think most of the speakers have done that here, and her questions were her relationship with her father, and what she saw her father doing, and how that inquisitiveness in the little child, the curiosity in the child, kept asking questions, and that led her to the spiritual guru. And the story that she narrated about the cardiologist, Mr. Mehta, in Gujarat was a very touching story. It was an entire well-crafted speech around one topic of spirituality, who is God. I think that was done very, no, it was excellent, the way she narrated. But so Toastmaster Sandhya, you need to work on your language and on your pronunciation. Try pronouncing words in English as accurately as possible, for which you need to expose yourself to the English language. Toastmaster Maithili Ranjan again started with asking rhetoric questions, childhood memories, and seeing her grandfather and her experience with coaching, and getting into badminton, into the sports field, and encountering the three friends: patience, discipline, and consistency. The way she has narrated the entire story, the speech between 5 to 7 minutes, was very, very well done, very well thought of, very well designed and organized speech. But once again, I think if you can work on your conclusion with a little punch, more punch than what was given, it would make an excellent speech. Toastmaster Anita Rao, this was a speech that was totally very creative right from the beginning. The only speaker who stood up and spoke, and that made a lot of difference. The action of killing the mosquito was a superb one. The audience was immediately aware of what the speech was going to be, and her ruminations on how the mosquito breeding could be stopped. The different ways that she has brought out, I think very creative. If you have researched for this, it is an excellent speech. Instead of the usual grumbling about the mosquitoes and just talking about the various difficulties and challenges we have, a totally different take. But I had to miss a little bit of the speech because of my connectivity problems here. Toastmaster Royal, another good speaker who transported the audience from bedtime stories and his childhood to camping in the forest and becoming a firefighter and fan man and fan woman, and a different concept, a different concept that has been set up. I like the way you built up the entire climax, how you built up the entire mystery, and then brought in a whole lot of balancing by saying that such a simple explanation of the German Shepherd with a bell on his neck and trying to, collect food for himself in the night. It was an analogy that you gave between flaming the embers, the embers among the ashes, and flaming our passion. Again, a different, very creative way you have done it. Of course, the message also was very good. A good speaker. And the language, I should comment on the language. You used excellent words and language was used. So it was, and the connection to Toastmasters also was done. So that message, the entire build-up, the entire story narration, and the transporting from one side to the other was done very well. I mean, you can make out you are into the nuances of becoming a very good speaker. Toastmaster Jeevan, who on his speech on mentorship, I had to miss this out, but I noticed that he began his speech again with questions, rhetoric questions, and his experiences with the neuro-linguistic program. And I could see his actions because I think he too stood up with and gave the speech. So his actions were good, his language delivery was good, and that is what but I couldn't get most of the speech over here. But what I heard was it was really very good. And the last speaker, I think, was Toastmaster Mascarenhas, who gave a very apt speech on a condition that most of us are suffering from, perhaps sleeplessness. What made this speech different for me was how she brought out her own experience and gave a message very subtly. It didn't sound preachy. It sounded it was a subtle message, but it was a message because she gave through her experiences what are the changes she has made in her own lifestyle. And that personal experience, whatever your speech is, when you bring in your personal experiences, the speech makes a difference to the audience because we know that you have gone through it. And that is what I found over here in the speech of the Toastmaster Mascarenhas, and a very apt and very informative speech. That was what it was. So thank you very much. I think one suggestion I could give to everyone, all the speakers here, is you are working very well on the body part and the introduction part. Try working on the conclusion also, because it is the last part that lingers on in the mind of the listener. Over to you.
Thank you so much, DTM Anita Cordero. Our last evaluator is Toastmaster Adila. Toastmaster Adila, over to you.
Thank you. Am I audible?
Yes.
So hello everyone. 7 great speeches today. So and I've evaluated body language. I've evaluated it under 4 subcategories. That is eye contact, facial expressions, use of hand gestures. And since we're online now and we're perfecting a different mode of communication this week, I'll also be commenting on your environment and camera setup. Toastmaster Ashrita, that was one lovely speech. It's such a beautiful memory that you've narrated to us in an even more beautiful manner. The way you hid behind the camera in the beginning while you were narrating the experience where you hid from your teacher was a cool addition. It helped paint a definitive picture. And I must say, to keep an audience engaged all during a 15-minute speech is more than difficult. And I applaud you for what you've presented today. Your facial expressions played a huge role in doing so, I think, and especially loved those parts where your inner singer came out. You grooved to the songs as you sang them. Now, I think your speech would have made a greater impact if you had stood up and adjusted the camera to focus on those hand movements that I could see were happening, but sadly hidden behind the camera frame. But overall, amazing work. Loved your story and all the best. Coming to the next speaker, Toastmaster Sandhya. That was a great narration of how you found answers to existential questions. First off, congratulations on a successful speech. To comment on your body language, I think your facial expressions beautifully reflected the conflict and frustration at judgment, surprise at revelations, and satisfaction on finding answers. I like the way you shared your experience to an indelible realization. Again, I think you could have stood up to speak and made better use of your hand gestures for better engagement. Thank you, Toastmaster Sandhya, and all the best. Now coming to the next speaker, Toastmaster Maithili. My 3 friends, patience, consistency, and discipline. A wonderful moral-packed speech, quite motivational, I must say. How you looked so proud when you said you were losing weight and gaining confidence. I think that confidence definitely reflected well in your speech today. And if you needed to hear this, I'm proud of you too. You made excellent use of facial expressions and hand gestures, like when you got a bob cut and other instances. Again, my only suggestion is that you could have stood up to speak, but you're certainly a tough one. All the best. Toastmaster Anita, I'm totally biased when I say this. It was one of my favorite speeches today, partly because I hate mosquitoes with the same passion as you do, but also because I loved your approach to planning their execution. First off, that was a great way to introduce your surprise topic, mosquitoes, by an imitation. When you turned on your camera and I saw you standing, I jumped up. Finally, someone stood up, and that really did add to your speech. Like DTM Kavita ma'am said, you have a dramatic way of narration, and I loved it. It made such an impact. Your engagement was amazing. Thank you, and all the very best. Now, Toastmaster Royal, an amazing speech today, well written and well executed. Congratulations, honestly. You ticked all the boxes I was looking for, actually. You stood up while speaking, which I think everyone would agree made such an impact. I liked how you leaned forward at instances like you were telling us a secret, and even your use of props. You also moved around, or must I say, made good use of the stage, which built this comfortable relationship with the audience. Now, I hope I fanned your fire to make even more of such great speeches. All the best. Toastmaster Jeevan on mentorship. Great work today. Congratulations. Your speech was well prepared and very well presented. I appreciate that you gave your speech standing again. Sorry for being so repetitive, but I think that really does make a difference in how well you engage the audience. You made good use of your hand gestures and facial expressions too, but only if you had adjusted the camera better so we could see your actions better, it would have been even more amazing. Thank you and all the best. Toastmaster Suman, again, another well-written speech. You have such a beautiful and powerful voice, and your speech today felt like a personal advice to myself to improve my sleeping habits. To comment on your body language, like I've told everyone, you could have stood up and adjusted the camera, even have notes in your hand to help you out if you're stuck. So your hand gestures could be better seen. But otherwise, you kept in tone with the quite factual content you had going on. Good work. Thank you and all the best. I'd like to close my evaluations by saying that body language and non-verbal cues play a key role in not only a good speech, but even to an effective communication. And I must say, I was a little intimidated at evaluating members much older and wiser than me, especially since this was my first time at such an established club. But I hope I did a decent job. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Adila. A huge round of applause to all the three evaluators for wonderfully evaluating all our speakers today. Thank you very much once again. Moving on, I request Toastmaster Jacob Koshi to give his views on the grammar.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. I'm not going into the grammar of the thing. I think everybody use nice grammar in the language, but there was a flood of good usages. I just concentrate on the speakers, and I'll tell one by one what I noticed in the usages. I'll start with the speakers. First with Ashrita. Of course, she was very good at her speech, and especially I like that the poetic way she did that, up the hill, down the hill, up the hill, paddy fields, on and on. I mean, I felt nice hearing that musical, this one. And secondly, coming to the second speaker, I like that Sandhya Bhatt about the inner peace and God in my heart and feel the God. I mean, that was all good usages. Then third speaker was Maitli, of course. And then her initial about the newsletter, she had some good words there. Highway of opportunities. I think that was correct. And invigorating. But I like the way she did that highway of opportunities. In her speech, Of course, hyperactive, internal conflict. Then, of course, the three of our friends. Then comes the fourth speaker, Royal. Of course, he was really good, extinguishing the flame, forest spirits, pounding out of the waterfall. I was hearing the waterfall at that time. I mean, that giving life to the phrases, I like that. Then one more is fanning courage. Anyhow, that has to be told because the title is fanning only. Okay. And fear in encapsulation. Okay. And then the fifth speaker was Ananda Rao. I like the way she was talking about that mosquitoes genetically modify. Even I had the same idea in my back in my days, how to kill the mosquitoes. Mosquitoes are really a problem for us. And genetically modify, good usage. I hope somebody does genetically modify them and destroy them, not turn into another virus or another scourge for our humanity. And the fifth speaker, Jeevan De Souza. Those another, I mean, a quiet speech, nicely done in a moderate voice, and usage of processing of payroll, then psychological lift. I love that. Then challenging times, good usage, all of this. And the seventh speaker, Suman, I almost fell asleep, sleeping like a child, sleeping beauty, REM sleep, go back to the roots, all good usages. And it was very well done. And coming back to Amith, feeling striker, empowering information. I like that. Empowering information. Information now is a world of information and data. And deeply gratifying. Then who else? Of course, evaluators. I'm not because I like Kauda Kamat's the voice like a rainbow. DTM Anita's subtle message. Of course, TM Toastmaster Adila's cool addition and existential questions. I think it was a lovely session hearing so many messages. I'm not so good at English, but still I loved all the messages and I like that. I chose the word in what is that word?
Indelible.
Indelible. I forgot because a few days back I had some discussion with one fellow. That time he said, you can't change your opinion. Already that indelible markings are left behind. So I thought I'll use that word. And a lot of people are using it's a simple word, and a lot of people have used that word. Jeevan, Amith, Sandhya, Ashrita, Suman, and Kavita. Everyone is used. So I am very happy. And that is my grammatical evaluation. And back to the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much.
Amith.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Jacob Koshi, for a crisp report on the grammar. While coming to the end of today's session, before we do that, I would want to review whatever had been spoken today. Well, the theme today was move on, and I had given you all suggestions of 7 suggestions, and I would like all of you to think over it. And you don't just brood with the issues that you have with it. Speak to somebody and move on. That's the simple idea that I have for you all. That is what I follow, and I want you all to practice it as well. Well, we have the results of the best speaker, and the best speaker is Toastmaster Royal. Congratulations. All right. And with that, I end my part of being the Toastmaster of the day, and I hand over the session to our President, Royal De Souza, to continue and close the session for today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Amith, Ananda. Thank you so much, everyone, especially our lovely evaluators, Adila, Kavita Kamath ma'am, and Anita ma'am. Thank you so much for adding value, and your suggestions were really good. and I'm pretty sure all my speakers, all my members will work on it. We have Kaushal. Hi, Kaushal, you're still there? Yeah. Can you give feedback or how you felt this meeting was? 2 words, 2 sentences, 2 minutes.
Yeah, it was very good. Like all the speakers were really good at really give good speeches, and yeah.
Thank you, Kaushal. We have a Christopher sir from Milagris Toastmasters. Christopher sir, you are there? It is not there. Okay, anyways, the meeting was supposed to end at 7:04. It's 7:06. So I guess anyone would like to add something, would share something? Anyone would like to share something?
Maybe Pratiksha would.
Pratiksha, want to share something?
Yes, I mean, it was quite fruitful because I did not expect to learn so much on the first day itself. I was just trying to see the best parts that everyone were putting together, putting forward, and the evaluation was also very great because it kind of gave me pointers on how I could do my speeches going ahead, and that's of great value for me for sure.
Thank you, Pratiksha. I guess Christopher sir is here. Christopher, you're there, Christopher sir?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Anything you would like to share with us? So we're not able to hear you, sir.
1 minute. Hello.
Yes, sir. Tell me.
Yeah. Good evening. Sorry, I had not put on my audio and video. Okay, it took me time. Yeah, I enjoyed the meeting, especially the all the speeches and your new sort of method of evaluating, getting each evaluator to harp on one theme or part of the evaluation. So it was a different sort of method. So it was good. I enjoyed that. And nice to hear so many speakers. And I think your speaking, the speakers have all done a good job. Of course, some of them seem new, but still it's nice to hear them. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Christopher sir. So we have one last person, Santosh. You there? Santosh Prabhu. Hopefully you decide to speak today. It's been a long time. Amith, would you like to persuade your members to?
Not my members, they are member of INSPIRON. Santosh, I know you're a very shy person, so please would like to at least say a few words.
Yes.
I know you have come in and off. So Santosh. No?
Yeah, hello.
Yes, Santosh.
Yes, Santosh.
If you can give a feedback of how the meeting was.
Yeah, it was very nice, and it's a new for me, so it's the first session, so I can't more comment on it. Thank you.
Okay, Santosh.
Thank you so much.
We are looking forward to listen a speech from you. Hopefully from next meeting, we'll get to hear something. Okay then, guys, I guess we are late by around 5 minutes. So I guess time to adjourn the meeting. Thank you so much for everyone coming here, especially Adila. Thank you so much for adding value to our meetings. It was wonderful. Your evaluation was wonderful. Thank you, Kaushal, for joining us. Hoping to